Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. I'm so happy you're here. It's been a moment, and I'm so excited because we're doing something very, very different today here in the Animal Lovers Cafe. We're going to have a guest, my dear friend, Mommy Lala, who I'm going to just be bringing on in half a second. But if you don't know me, my name is Janet Dobbs of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of telepathically communicating with animals and healing with animals. So without further ado, I have a special guest here. And our topic today is going to be about our journey together, actually, with live streaming. How that happened, and also maybe like how you could do it, or if you're already doing it, streaming live or streaming or just on camera, how you got started. Maybe think about what that was like. So here is Lala. Hi, Lala. I'm so happy you're here. So just to tell before, it's like you can please share with us, but Lala is not really in the animal communication or healing field, but she does love animals. And so let me tell you a little bit. Yeah, no, go ahead. Well, why don't you, now that I have you here, why don't you share like what you do and who you are? Obviously behind you is crafty looking things. Right?
Oh, yes. It's a dead giveaway. Right? So talk about Mommy Lala without actually, telling who she is and what she does. Okay,
well,
so
I will do.
Mommy
You want me to
Lala.
do? I'll be happy to do that if you don't want to. So,
No, it's okay. It was like,
okay,
because it's a dead giveaway, right?
I know, right?
Background. So, anyways, I'm Mommy Lala of Mommy Guide Inc. Thank you so much, Janet, for inviting me over. Right. So every time I collab with Janet, it is such, a fun episode, right? So no matter what, behind the scenes when we do tech rehearse, we do a lot of, checking before we actually go live. It's, a little bit chaotic and stuff, but the minute we go live,
Yep. Ta-da.
it's done. We're just gonna have fun, right? So I'm Mommy Guide Inc. again on all the socials. Everybody calls me Mommy Lala. I think because of all the roles that I play as a human, right? So I think it's being a mom that I really resonate with the most, right? So again, thank you so much, Janet. I know that we're going to be talking about our awesome journey.
Yes.
So how Mommy Lala, a crafter, a paper crafter most of the time, actually got to be friends, really good friends with Janet, right? So hello again, first and foremost, to all the Animal Lovers Cafe members and those watching live or on YouTube or on replay on Janet's channel. Hello and thank you so much. And it's a happy thing for me to be here with you all right now. So the thing that actually, somehow got me and Janet together, okay, although we do have different niches, is
Yes.
because of we both wanted to share our passions. Right, Janet?
Yes.
So mine was crafting. Janet's was, her love for animals and actually how to help others understand how they can actually learn and be helped by their animals, as Janet has helped me all throughout the years that I've known her. So thank you so much for that, my friend. All right. So if you do have questions, just,
Yes.
simply, yes, post
Put a
them and we will
cue
try to
and-
answer. Otherwise, we will just be asking questions about each other. Do you want that? It's like I
yeah.
ask, you ask. And then it's
Absolutely.
like
Let's go
fast
back
talk.
to the beginning. Like, how did you get started with live streaming or with video? Do you remember? Because I was kind of thinking back to how I got started and about when. So what was it like for you when you got
All
started?
right. So if you would actually check my YouTube channel, Janet, it would
Right
say,
now?
I think 20. Yeah, I think it. It's like you would know
Share
that.
the
Like
screen.
I think I started the channel 2009 or 2010. It was a
Okay, got it.
passion project after graduating from master's degree. So I said I wanted to do something different from what I have been doing, right? I was so stressed. I said I wanted to stress. And doing, everybody at that time was doing, YouTube. I said I want to do that. So I bought all the gear, computer, cameras, whatever, right, that was needed. I bought them all. But I didn't know how to use them. So what happened is, all right, and I didn't know how to edit. I don't even have a Facebook page when I wanted to be on YouTube. So I hired somebody to actually, become like my social media manager, so to speak, right? But the thing is, what can they put out if I don't give them content? But I don't know how to put content. So basically, what happened was I only really started during the time that we were all locked down at home.
Mhm.
I didn't know what to do. And by chance saw that Sammy, my moderator daughter, who actually had a channel when she was 7. Okay.
Wow.
Eventually, her videos from 9 years ago popped up. And I said, whoa. And then it said got monetized. What? We never checked on the chat. I couldn't even go back to the channel because I forgot the username, the password, everything. I forgot. Right. And so I said, you know what? I might try doing this. And that is when I decide, okay, if I will be out there, Janet, what most of that at that time, everybody was still doing videos, right?
Mhm.
Prior to the most content creators on YouTube were doing videos. Live stream was not really that popular then. And then I said, if it's video, impossible for me to be there because I don't know how to edit, right? And then I chanced upon Gloria's show,
Mhm.
Live Streaming Pros. And she was talking about this awesome platform called Ecamm for Mac users. I said, oh, perfect, because I'm a Mac user and everything seems to be for the other one, right? So I said, okay. I tried it, and when I saw that, with this I can create content, and that was the rest was history. So this,
Yeah. And that's when we met. Yeah. So for me,
yes,
it's funny you were saying 2011 because I was starting to do videos and teach on a video platform, do my workshops on a video platform that's not, not Ecamm, not YouTube.
mm-hmm.
And really Zoom wasn't what it is now at all. But
You're very
that was really
techy.
exciting for me because my background, I was 30 years in broadcast television and part of it was editing. I would never, ever, never, ever do this, ever. I mean, the thought of doing this just scared the heck out of me. It's like there's so many other amazing people. They're doing that. They're happy. No way would I get in front of a camera. So then, yeah, as the time went by, I started, I forget when it was, but I think my first lives were through Facebook or Zoom maybe. And I did, one of the first things I did in a Facebook group live was I called it the animal ABCs. So I went live every day from A to Z. And it's like, I thought,
Wow.
and I did like a little guided meditation in the first animal's name, started with an A.
Oh,
And
so it's
so,
like 26 days.
oh yeah. And it was a lot. I thought at first it was like, okay, this is great. And then it was like, whew, this is a lot to come up with the content or the whatever, even though I had a basic thing. And then to show up at the same time. But that was how I kind of started in my Facebook group. And then encouraged by some people that, like you and others we met. We met in, well, I guess around
LEDA.
2020-ish, when
Yeah,
maybe a
2021.
little later. But
Yeah.
for me, when the beginning of COVID in 2020, in March, I had a in-person Reiki with Animals workshop scheduled, And then it was like lockdown time.
Imagine
We
that.
can't, it's like when it began, that was like, what? No, this isn't real. Oh, it's only going to last a couple weeks. And so the
Mhm.
workshop had to be canceled. And I said, why don't I can take this online, And they were like, oh, no, it'll just going to be a few weeks and we'll go live again. And I went, no, it's not. This is something kind of scary we've never experienced. But anywho, well, I was waiting for my, students to go like, okay, let's do this online. I went live every day because I went, I'm really freaking out here. I need to
Awesome.
help myself. So I started doing a guided meditation with animals every single day and invited people, and hundreds of people would show up on Zoom,
Wow.
kind of live, and just to kind of get us kind of relaxed and grounded in those, very uncertain times that we were in. And so I did it every day, and it's like a month went by, 6 weeks went by, and I was like, this is really hard doing this every day. So then I started doing it every few days, and then it was every week, and I did that probably until August, and then I did then I started teaching online again. So that was, but anyhow, then I found, just like you, as your story came to Live Streaming Pros, and then we met through something called
Mhm.
LEDA, going live every day in April and August. And that
Yes.
really helped. I don't know about you, so I'd love to hear what it was like for you. I was so scared. My deodorant would quit every single time, like, oh God, we got to go live. All these people from all over the world. I can't do this. And then, I met you, and tell me what that was like. What was that like for you?
All right. So again, the beginning, I was like, okay, I had to ask myself, are you sure you want to do this, Lala? Right? So I said, I was like talking to myself. I said, yes, because I want to learn, right? The thing is, okay, I have the platform. I had eCamp. But then how do I actually use it and how do I go about it? I really didn't know. So I said, I wanted to learn. I am from the Philippines. I'm in Southeast Asia. As by now you would have noticed that my accent is different,
It is.
right? So when I went to the challenge, okay, so it's going live every day in a Facebook group. It's a very safe platform. So I
Mhm.
was, I'm so grateful for that, for Luria and Live Streaming Pros. I would go live the first day, just like what Janet said, was so sweaty and all of that thing. And like I had to practice many times over, oh, what my name, it's like you introduce yourself. And then nobody was in the chat. And then I started watching others people going live, other people's lives. Again, this is an international group, so it's like 24/7. Okay, I know, 24/30, right? So for 30
Right.
days, 24 hours, somebody would actually be going live because we have people from Asia, from North America, Central America, from
Europe,
Europe. So even from
Australia.
Africa. So it's like if you really want to watch everybody, we do have one who did that. Okay, that was Marcus, our dear friend Marcus Schaub. So he did that, but for me, I couldn't do that. But then again, I saw a lot of people jumping in. So when I joined LEDA in 2021, that was my very first LEDA in April.
Mhm,
So,
me too.
but some of them, this was their second or third at that
Mhm.
time. So some of them knew other people already. So somebody was watching their lives. And mine, I realized nobody but Amy, who was, I think, the one assigned to me as a moderator. So she was the only one watching and
Mhm.
commenting. So on after the first video, Jan, I was ready to quit.
Mhm.
I felt, I was telling myself, maybe nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Maybe because it's your accent, maybe because of the way you look, stuff like that. Maybe they don't like your content. And then I had to talk to myself again. Why are you joining? It's not for popularity. You want to learn, right? So I said, okay. So I continued on, did all the challenges, and there was this particular challenge, Janet. It was
Which
so
one?
much fun that, oh my goodness, it's like from that, because I think watched everybody's video, people started to come into my lives, and
Mm.
people started to share, and that really boosted my confidence. And by the time we were on the 30th day, I didn't want to stop. That's why eventually we hopped on to, of course, we were part of the accelerator program because we wanted to learn more. And on top of that, one of our dear friends also that we met in the group started out online video mastermind group where we actually could practice some more as
Right.
well.
Right. That's right. That was a great group, and I think it's still going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that
Yes.
group is still going. Yeah, I had forgotten all about the first one because I did my first LEDA with you that April 2021. I forgot that's when that was.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when the first days I had gotten my first COVID shot. I was so sick. I thought I was
Oh
just
my.
dying. And then halfway in, I had rotator cuff surgery on my shoulder. So I was, doing
Oh
stuff
wow.
from, being in recovery and all of that stuff. And it was like, okay, well, we can still just go live. It doesn't matter. We just have to do it no matter what. And for me, it was like learning how to be yourself and
Mm-hmm.
just, okay, I don't have makeup on. I'm in my pajamas. I look horrible. Okay, I'm showing up. And that was empowering. It was just like,
Sure.
what? Okay. And then it's like, okay, I don't care. I'm just going to show up. And also the support, like having people come and be live with
Yes.
you and you'd see the comments and you could play off of them. That was really, it showed me how much fun it is, and also the power of growing your own community and your like-minded
Exactly. And that
people.
was for free, right, Janet?
That was
That
for
challenge
free.
was
That
absolutely
was so
free.
fun.
So
Yeah.
if you are watching right now and probably you are also, an awesome animal lover and you're also interested in what Janet is doing and somehow you also want to share your passion like what Janet is doing and I am doing, right? So one of my advice would be to join something like what Janet and I joined, right? So a group that could help you grow. You don't need to learn alone. That's, that's lonely. You can actually reach out to, people. You just need to find, um, a group where you can, walk alongside them and grow together. And it's such a blessing that, again, our friendship has,
Mhm.
grown. At least I finally got to meet Janet about 2 years ago,
That was
halfway
so
through, right?
fun.
So, yes, we just met virtual, okay, because of that challenge. But eventually, I had the privilege of going to the US and I went to a place which is very somehow quite near, but not very near. Janet had to try, had to
Not
drive.
far.
Okay,
It was just
not
a
really
daily
far, but
commute.
yeah, and so I was like finally able to meet up with. It's like we were long lost friends. It's like we've been friends forever, right? So nothing changed, from our friendship virtually to like being,
Being in
face
person.
to face. Yes, because we being authentic, being who you are is something that we also learned, okay, in the process of trying to learn how to actually do your live streams. You just don't need to be somebody else, with your imperfections, with your different accent, right? Sometimes I use the wrong words and people would, what?
Doesn't matter.
Maybe you mean this? Oh, yes, that. right? Right? So it really doesn't matter. Being your uniquely you, as Luria, our mentor, would say, is the best thing that you can, because another one who said, I think it was Marian the other day said, right? So everybody else is taken. So just be you, right?
Oh, that's
So
good. I
that's
like that.
yes, I
That's all we
like
can
that
do
phrase.
is be our unique selves, right? Be ourselves.
Mhm.
And also there's something that really struck me. There's a holistic veterinarian that I have worked with since 1994. Okay, it was a little while ago,
Mhm.
just yesterday. But he always had these pearls of wisdom. And when I was starting out as a professional animal communicator, and also then I also would offer Reiki sessions to humans and their animals. I would, like not everybody does this, but I get really kind of insecure, and there's so many other people doing this, and la 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 la. And he said, "Okay, as a veterinarian, there's many veterinarians." He said, "If a veterinarian opened a clinic across the street from mine, it's fine." He says, "Yeah, sure. There's going to be some of my clients are going to go across there, and that's just normal." But he said,
True.
if
Even in
I
the mall,
started
right?
to
So,
lose, he
yeah.
said, if I started to lose everybody, I need to look at me, not go like, oh, I'm so jealous of them. What am I doing that people are leaving me? What is my office doing that people are leaving me? He
Right.
said, and then this is the most important thing. There's enough for everybody. So in my field, there's animals all over the world and animal lovers all over the world. So people are going to come to you in whatever it is you do because they like you, not because, that's what it is. So just get the courage up and just start and just do it, just whether you go live or you do a video or whatever it is you do, don't be afraid to put yourself out
Yeah.
there.
Exactly. I remember, Janet, remember I mentioned earlier that it was since 2009 I wanted to do this live, right? But I wouldn't because the one of the, top 5 things was the accent. I couldn't do an American to the British accent. And I felt that if don't sound like that, nobody would listen, nobody would watch. So that was something that was so wrong. And I learned from, doing this now for over 4 years, and, meeting Janet and Tech Troublemaker in the chat, my dear
I
friend, our
know.
dear
Hey,
friend
Roy.
Roy. Hi, Roy. Also realized that people actually find it even, kind of cute. You're kind of different, right? It somehow makes you again part of being uniquely you, right? So
Right.
you don't need to be like everybody else.
No.
So that and something I learned.
But yeah, so it's just taking that first step. And Lala, you mentioned finding a group. There's lots of groups out there. For me, you and I found Live Streaming Pros, and that really helped us go live, and our on camera presence, and just like doing it, and being in a group of like-minded people that were going through the same thing. And then there's also Ecamm. So I need to give Ecamm a shout out. That's how I do the little squares and the little, like I can go from Lala to, let's see if I can do it. There's Lala and there's me, and there's a bunch of other things. There's so many things you can do with Ecamm, but it's about the production, making you like a little pretty, like professional. For me, I was over 30 years in broadcast television, and it's like having a studio switcher that does, and the audio control booth, which is what I used to do. And you're the director, and, all right here in your whatever space that you happen to have. And I think that's the coolest thing. But you look just so much more professional. So that's Ecamm Live, if you're interested. And also, Lala and I are in a, it's called a challenge, but it's really a dare. So 5 days we've been daring to do certain things. And the company is called Capsho. And Capsho is pretty cool too. So I check them out, CAPSHO. It's in the description below. So we are here because one of our challenges was to go have a guest. So I have a guest on our show, and I was on Lala's show yesterday. Or it seems like forever ago.
Thank you,
But
Janet.
that
Yes,
was
this
so
is what
much
we did.
fun.
Janet
Oh, you
guided
have
me in doing this. Yes.
So, just there's so many communities out there. So find one that resonates with you, and just join it. There's Facebook groups, or what if you don't like Facebook, there's look on YouTube, and then just join, start viewing somebody and leave a comment. if they're, if they're live or not, just leave a comment and say hello. Let yourself be known,
Correct.
and then you all of a sudden you're going to find you have also a community. And we've met so many people that are amazing
Exactly.
talents in this world, bringing their uniqueness to the world. Like Roy,
So
there you
true.
go. There's
Okay,
Roy.
Janet,
This
I
is
just have
Roy.
one more.
Okay. Okay. What?
Okay. Again, I know that a lot of people, the reason why they don't do content or they don't even go live or whatever is because of the tech.
Yes.
I am the most, when I started, I don't even know how to post on Facebook. I don't know anything. But really, when I joined the group, I just kept on asking, kept on
Hmm. Hmm.
watching. And the people just, were very gracious enough to, help me out. Really, literally jump. Okay, bring me in.
Wait,
Roy
use our
would jump
phone.
in.
Like that's all
Use
we
your
need
phone.
is our phone. That's all you need to go live or to do a video.
Exactly.
This is all you need.
Mhm.
Keep it simple. Don't get it, it took us time to get to this.
Mm-hmm.
It took us time. But
No,
here,
this way. Oh, there. Wrong way.
but it took some time,
Okay.
it took time. We didn't start off like this.
Mhm.
So just get started. Just
Yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Yes. And if you need help with tech, they're in the chat, our dear friends. So if you're watching on replay,
Oh, tech
check the live
troublemaker. Here
replay.
we go.
Yes, it's Tech Troublemaker. He's not really a troublemaker. Actually, he
Yes, he
helps
is.
out.
He's a big
Tech
troublemaker.
There you go. Yes. Okay. Now it's okay. Yeah, because I was seeing it's blurry, so I'm not
Oh,
sure
really?
if. Yes, but Roy said no. So it must be my internet. So I'm thankful that the internet gods have not disconnected me yet. All right, that we're still good.
And
Awesome.
the thing that's fun about that is if that happens, we just keep going and you would come
Yes.
back when you could. And,
Mm.
we just go with the flow. So
Another
it's like,
thing,
it's
there's no perfection on live
No.
streaming.
There's always something.
Yes, absolutely. It could be the video, the audio, right? So
Yeah.
so many other things.
Yeah, yesterday I showed up to it's a meditation, and the host is in Australia, but it's a weekly 15-minute little guided meditation for healing and it doesn't matter. But my microphone, I had been messing around with my Rodecaster Pro because I hadn't touched anything. It's been over a year since I've gone, live or even just done any video. And evidently I'd left a filter on and everybody was saying, "What's wrong with your voice?" And I had this filter. I'm like, I don't know where it is. How do I fix it? Oh, but
Voice change.
it's like, but you just have to have fun and go with it.
Exactly. That's how we learn, right? So I made countless mistakes and I continue to do so. But the difference between when I was starting and now is it doesn't matter. So, if I have a guest is having a tech issue and we really cannot do anything about it, let's just let it slide. Just do whatever you
going.
can. Yeah, just keep on going and have fun, right? Don't forget to have fun.
Yeah, and we never have fun. So when Lala, when you and I met in person, and it was in Washington D.C. in Georgetown.
Oh my
Oh God, that was so
yes.
fun. And Lala, you were in so much pain from your knee, and that was when
We
YouTube,
almost didn't meet up. We almost didn't meet up, right? Because of that.
among other things. But
Yeah.
remember, it was when YouTube had just made it possible to go live on your camera. And so you said,
Yes.
let's try
On
it
your
out.
phone, right? Yeah.
Yeah, on your phone. So you said, let's
Yes.
try it out. And so we were sitting next to each other in this restaurant. And you were live and I was live, and there were people in the restaurant. We didn't care.
Yeah,
And
we
we
didn't
didn't know what
care.
we were doing. And of course, Marcus showed up in the chat. And I mean, it
Yes.
was
I'm not even sure
hysterical.
if Roy was there as well. But several of our friends were actually there and they even helped us. And then when we were getting out of the parking, we didn't know how to get out because it was a different parking system. And then the people in the chat were telling us, do this, do this. Oh, okay, okay. That was so much fun. See,
It was.
just be willing to let the mistakes happen and just, go with the flow. And at the end of the day, it's nighttime joke. At the end of the day, you learn that joke. At the end of the day, you get to learn something from the mistakes. Right.
Absolutely. That's the important thing is also what we learn. And, for me, yesterday I couldn't hear. I had a technical issue. So I could hear through my speakers, but I couldn't hear through my headphones. And then I couldn't hear through my speaker. I could hear through my headphones. And I couldn't remember because it's been over a year and a half since I've done any of this until yesterday. And so yeah, I just, I was helped, like Paul from eCam helped me a little bit. And then I went into, technical stuff. You guys don't need to hear it, but just to figure it out and, kind of feel panicked in a way, but just breathe and like, okay, just keep pushing buttons until something works.
Yeah. And there's always people who would know how to do it. So reach out, right? So
Yeah.
it's okay
And
if you
we're
don't
here.
know a lot of things, right? So I now realize that I don't need to actually know everything, just the very basics. So Roy would always remind me, Roy, I think there's so many other things on eCam that I actually am not. You're just absolutely, you just use whatever it is you actually need to use. Right. And I think that's such a very good advice, right? Although there's so many other awesome features, sometimes those may not be, for your kind of content, right? So,
Right.
those
Right.
people are doing this and that. Do I need to do that as well? It depends, right?
Right.
So if your content, okay, if you feel that it can be useful for you, then go ahead. But otherwise, you don't need to have that next shiny gadget, app, whatever it is. If it's
Oh,
not
wait a
gonna be,
second.
you know,
I need that
for
shiny
your
gadget. No, but you don't. You
I knew
don't
you were
need a
gonna
shiny
say that.
gadget. Do what?
The gas, the gear, acquisition syndrome.
Yes.
So a lot of us have that. So no judgment because it's something that somehow you probably would go through. But to help you from, spending too much on gear, just Janet showed you, right? Just your phone. Just your
Yep.
phone
It's your
is more
phone.
than
Oh, that's the time. Yeah.
there you go.
So yeah, that's kind of our
Uh-huh.
journey in a nutshell. And here we are.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't talked to each other for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
and then we ended up showing up in this little challenge that we talked about. That's the dare to stream, and so we took the dare, and here we
Yes.
are.
Yeah, so Janet and I more or less, in and out about 4.5 years live. I think Janet in a different platform is still already doing that, right? But
Mhm.
why did we join this challenge? It's not as if we're really beginners, right? But
Mhm.
that because we never stop learning, right? So doing this is a continuous process, right? So
Yeah.
we don't feel that we know everything. I've been live streaming for so many years, right? So
Hmm.
we fall into that complacency sometimes. And that is one of the things that somehow, for me, anyways, that might make me, oh, you know what? I've been doing this. I'm getting bored, right? But when there's always something new, and that doesn't mean that in terms of you need to buy something, but
Right.
there's now you can do that with that, right? So it doesn't have to be a new gadget or a new thing, but you never realized that you could actually do that now before it wasn't. So, right? So learning is something that actually also encourages me and keeps me going, right? So if you're doing the
Hmm.
content over and over for so many years, sometimes you would feel a little burnout. And that also happens for
Yes.
all of us. So we do need to take time out for a bit, and that's absolutely fine. So don't feel bad. You can always start again. So
That's
Janet
yes.
and I actually joined this because we just wanted to you know, start kind of do a reboot, right? So every now and then, something in your system, right? Let's say your computer, right? Something messes up. So what do? You reboot, right? So the same thing, right? So when life happens, sometimes you just need to take a backseat and it's fine.
Yeah.
Right? So others would say, no, you don't stop. You need the algorithm. You need to be always there. Right? But you don't need to kill yourself. I'm so exhausted doing content. Right? So listen to your body. Okay. Listen to,
Hmm.
what and check your intentions, so to speak. And having met Janet, she has really helped me learn to tap, that inner peace in me when things just get so crazy, busy, and anxiety levels really high up there. The minute you talk to Janet, her voice alone calms you down. Her voice alone. So if you have not yet, watched any of her videos or attended her classes, she is such a great coach. So my daughter in the chat mentioned she actually really loves animals, but she doesn't really know how to, do this. So, daughter, okay, so start watching Auntie
Yeah.
Janet's, videos, and that's why I told you yesterday during our live stream collaboration. We have so many cats. Oh, we have a new cat. She's a new cat, right? Okay, because between my daughter and my nanny,
Oh
all right, so
no.
we now have additional budget for their food and
Oh,
other
nice.
stuff. Yes, because they feed them. So before we leave, we have to make sure that there's water and food for them because now it's they're like part of the family. All right. So I know when
That's true.
somebody's
They are.
new because so this one's supposed to go. They love staying in places, right? So they have their special spots, right?
Well, and
So,
especially if you leave food, if they're outdoor kitties, if you leave food, even
Mhm.
if they live someplace else, they're going to come to your house.
Exactly.
Smorgasbords over here. Hey, George, you should see the best treats over here. This is where we're going today.
Oh my goodness. All
Oh,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So
So, yeah.
so what are your plans in the coming, the coming future, the nearer future? Okay, because the far future is kind of difficult to plan. I know
Yeah.
people do that, but for me, not so much. Just
Yeah,
a little
even
bit.
planning in the moment, planning in the moment, being in the moment. For me, like doing this dare challenge, um,
Hmm.
it was for me, it's like, do I quit, stop close my business, or am I
Hmm.
able to move forward? And the reason for that, a year ago, I had a hip replacement
Yeah.
surgery, and there were major complications.
Yeah.
I think yesterday I started walking without my cane around the house for the first time in a year. Um, and I'm still not 100%. I didn't drive my
Take it
car until two
slow.
months ago. I was told it would be 2 months after surgery. So last June I should have been driving.
Hmm.
There were so many different kinds of complications, not to go into all that stuff, but it
Yeah,
took me
but I'm just so
down. It
happy
just,
you're okay now.
and I thought I'll never be able to do this again. So part of this challenge was to challenge me. Can I get back to this? Can I sit in this chair? I couldn't even walk around to the back and turn my lights on. So for the future, I'm taking baby steps, but I'm going to reinvent some
Yeah,
things and have some offerings like um, some live in person little things like that have to
it's
do
great.
with our animals. And you don't have to have an animal to join, but healing with animals, meditating with animals, and listening to animals. Those are kind of the things that we kind of work with. But it's all about us and this connection with each other, with animals, but not just animals. Then they allow us, some people can't connect with humans anymore. So if it's safer to connect with our animals, that's easy, right? There's no judgment. And there kind of really
Mhm.
is, but they have their own opinions.
Once
But
you get to
then through
know, you can
that,
learn how to listen, right?
you realize we are connected to each other in so many
Mhm.
ways that we don't even realize. And it's just a beautiful way of living life. So that's
Mhm.
my hope, is to continue and move forward now and get back to. But I'm not going backwards, I'm going forwards. So Lala, what about you?
Awesome.
What about you?
All right.
You're
So
always doing something wonderful.
thank you. For those who don't know, I actually felt I did go through a little bit of burnout earlier this year. And so the past couple of weeks, you would like people would say, you would see I would post a live, schedule a live for Wednesday, and it's gonna move to an hour, and then an hour, and then it's gonna move to the next day, and it's gonna move to the other day, and then finally it's gonna be my Saturday, and then I'm gonna move it again and again and again. So it
Yeah.
happened maybe 3 or 4 times. I just kept having reasons why I cannot.
Mhm.
Okay, it's so easy, when you don't want to. There's so many reasons why you could justify it.
Mhm.
And then I realized, what, it's okay, right? So I think I just needed a bit of a breathing space, but I'm back. And I think the reason I had that because I really didn't have like a solid direction of what is gonna be, moving forward. I was like in a cycle where, it's just I'm doing it because I need to do it, right? So I wasn't really enjoying it as much, and in a sense that probably also would resonate to the kind of content might not be, the kind of content that people would want. Okay, those who are actually now following us would
Mhm.
want,
Mhm.
and so I just needed to, push slow down a bit. Okay, and now have recalibrated, and even joining this have made it even, even clearer for me what is moving forward. So yes, more um class, especially, so many things that you can do with eCam for the community that I've not actually been using, and now I will check those out. And one of the things that has really made me, I think, burnout was there's so many things that some people say that, oh, just doing content, it's just you just go live. Yeah, it there is actually a little bit of prep and
There's a
some
lot
kind
of
of work
prep.
to do. Yes, but there's actually ways to go around those that you still have your life, so to speak. And so I'm super excited. So I hope that you could, watch out for those. I still do have my regular live streams every Wednesdays and Saturday nights, Philippine time. So that's morning time for most of you in the US. And then on top of that, every now and then I do have videos which premiere as I am part of the design team for Canvas Card Challenge, and so we do have like we rotate, and when we feature different products and different ways to actually use up the products to create awesome cards. So there you go. That's what's up for me in the
That's
coming
great.
future.
And for me, just really quick, it's all
Mhm.
about the community. And so it's
True.
not about for me. It's not about me. I just show up, but bringing the community together and being there to support the community, and then everybody supports each other. It's just kind of that is for me what it's my great joy and so much fun. And I love to show up in your community. So where can
Thank
people
you,
find you?
Janet.
I have everything in the description if you want to check it out. But Lala's YouTube channel is
Yes. I'm all
Mommy
Mommy Guide
Guide.
Inc. on all the socials. So very easy. Mommy Guide, GUIDE Inc. Mommy Guide
There
Inc.
you go. Mommy Guide Inc. Right? Only you put all the
Yes.
no spaces or spaces.
Yes. Yes.
Anyhow,
Yeah. You
you'll
just
get there.
put them. There
You'll
you
get
go.
there. So, Lala, thank
All
you
right.
so much for
Thank you,
being here,
Janet.
and thank you everybody for
Thank
joining.
you.
Sammy and Roy and everyone else that's out there. Like, thank you so
Yeah.
much, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to Janet.
I love those.
Share.
I want
And
one.
hit the notification. They're from Matt.
I just have my little friend.
All right. There you go. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Bye, everyone.
You've been hiding in the shadows way too long.